My guest is Tania Hancock with the Anchorage Convention and Visitors Bureau. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Charlie. As Alaska has become more popular over the years, and as the visitors have become more and more adventurous, particularly with the experiential tourism boom that we've seen, we are finding that we're getting more and more repeat clients. We're getting people that are wanting to do more than be on motor coaches and be on the trains and on the cruise ships, which are wonderful options for them. And it's usually the first way that somebody sees my state is by cruising. But instead of just coming up cruising and saying, I've done Alaska and now I don't need to go back, we are finding more and more people that are saying, wow, that was a wonderful trip. I need to see far more of the state. It's a very large state, very challenging to see in one trip. And then after people have done a couple of trips in high season, in summer, we often find that people are very curious about the winter season. They want to experience the northern lights. They come up for wilderness and they come up for wildlife. They come up for glaciers. They come up for a state that has far more wildlife than people. The entire state has 600,000 people in it. And it is an enormous state. So you really are truly looking at the last frontier when you get to Alaska, and people marvel at how far they can go, how big a span of wilderness that they can go through without seeing any sign of a living person, without seeing buildings, without seeing cities. It really is quite amazing, and it makes you feel as though you've stepped back in time. It is very beautiful and very much untouched. Most of the state is fly-in only. It truly is a wilderness and the last frontier. First of all, when it comes to wilderness, surprisingly, there is wilderness everywhere. Even in Anchorage, the biggest city in Alaska, we have wild salmon stocks, and we catch, for example, king salmon and silver salmon in the middle of downtown Anchorage in June, July, and August. They are typically buying package tours through tour operators or through travel agents. Alaska can be very daunting when it comes to trying to put together a trip. We have a tremendous amount of myths and misconceptions about the state of Alaska. The three biggest ones that I run into regularly in the destination training that I do is that we are cold, we are dark, and we have one season, winter. And those are very big misconceptions. All of the 5 regions have very different daylight hours, very different temperatures. There is nowhere in my state that has darkness for more than 3 months, and that is really very far north, up in the far north region of the state. So down in Anchorage, Alaska, where I live, very far south on the waterway, we get a lot of warm Japanese currents. We get something we call the Pineapple Express, which is a weather inversion that comes up from Hawaii, and we tend to be quite temperate. We're the number 2 cruise destination in the world, and we've been breaking records for the most people that we've ever seen for several years now, since about 2003. We keep breaking records every single year. So it is increasingly popular.